Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of HTFL football. Today it'll be the St. Louis Maroons traveling to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. Jacksonville a 14-point favorite, but I don't know if they'll win by that much, or even if they'll win. So we will get this game started. Special hello to the Digital to Dice podcast crew clan, Dave and Ron. Just put up another podcast as I record this on June 5th, a Friday. Look forward to listening to that when I get through with this game. St. Louis won the toss and will defer. Jacksonville will receive. 93 degrees and raining at Jacksonville for this game. Playing in just a steady rain right now. Kurt Warner quarterbacking St. Louis. Mark Brunell doing likewise for Jacksonville. The coaches Dick Vermeil and Tom Coughlin. Todman back deep for Jacksonville, and we'll get this game underway. It'll be a touchback as he was 6 yards deep in his own end zone. Studying the Jacksonville offense for you. Taylor at Jones at running back. Smith and McCardell running at wide out. Brady at tight end. Brunell your quarterback. Boselli, Naoli, Linder, Menuai, and Cersei will be your offensive line. We'll give it to Freddie Taylor on a trap right. And Taylor, 16 yards. I'm being reminded that in their win against Tampa Bay, he ran the ball 35 times for 113 yards. St. Louis lost 24-10 to Washington last week. The Jacksonville Jaguars beat Tampa Bay, as I just mentioned. Setting the defense for the Maroons, because we can't call them the Rams and we can't call them the Cardinals, even though they are a combination of the best players to play for St. Louis, both in the Cardinal and Ram eras. Carter and Little at defensive end. Brockers and Walker, your defensive tackles. Junior, Meinert, Stallings, your linebackers. Worley, Fisher at corner. Wilson and Hill at safety. So here come the Jaguars again, 1st and 10. Pitch right to Taylor. We're going to keep giving him the ball a lot. That seems to be a strength. And the fine running back out of Florida picks up 3 yards. We'll profile him real fast. 3 catches for 36 yards against Tampa Bay last week as well. Jacksonville plays in the lower South Division. The Maroons in the lower East. We'll go McCardell, medium hitch. And that's good for 17. Fisher on the tackle for St. Louis. We'll go Jones, just to give Taylor a little bit of a blow on a dive play. And that's not a strength of
Holding
his.
Offense, number 67, 10-yard penalty.
Menuai gets called for the hold. Now a 1st and 20 at the 46. We'll go Smith, medium slam. Oh, bad pass there. Looks like he was throwing into double coverage. And that's incomplete. How about a short pass to Craig Jones on 2nd and 20? Brunell scrambles. He fumbles. Loose ball recovered by the Maroons. Pat Fisher, at the 46. So the Jags trying to make something happen offensively, and they fall prey to the turnover. And in these wet conditions, you might see a few more of those. We'll set the offense for the Maroons for you. Anderson and Edwards, your running backs. Holt and Bruce from the Ram era at wideout. Smith at tight end, Jackie Smith. Pace, Dobler, DeMarco, Timmerman, Deerdorf, your offensive line. Kurt Warner, your quarterback out of Northern Iowa. 1st and 10, ball at the 46. And Warner goes long on the first play, but it's incomplete. They were looking for Jackie Smith. You see him there. He also does a little punting, but I don't think he is the starting punter for the Maroons. 2nd down and 10. And it's caught. 1st down, 14 yards. They threw it to Isaac Bruce in double coverage, and somehow they beat the double. You see him there out of Memphis. I think it Was it Memphis or Memphis State when he was playing there? Well. First and 10, ball at the 40. Screen pass, and this is going to be to O.J. Anderson, and that's 19 more. Pazlazny made the tackle for Jacksonville. I forgot to set the Jacksonville defense. Let's do so now. Brackens and Natakwe, your defensive ends. Stroud, Henderson, defensive tackles. Hardy, Pazlazny, and Smith at linebacker. Ramsey and Mathis are your corners. Darius and Sensabaugh, your safeties. Back to the game, a first and 10 at the 21. Incomplete pass. Warner was looking for Holt on that. Torrey Holt. Second and 10, ball at the 21. And that's Anderson. A pickup of 2, setting up a third and 8 from the 19. They give to Anderson again. He only gets back to the line. So they'll try a 36-yard
Neutral
field
zone
goal.
infraction.
But hold on.
Defense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat. 4th down.
Natakwe gets called for a neutral zone infraction, so that'll just set him up 5 yards shorter to the goal line. Here is now a 31-yard attempt. And it's Sirline who finds it. 3-0, St. Louis. Todman back deep again for Jacksonville, and that's another touchback. Setting up first and 10 at the 20. We'll go Freddie Taylor, off tackle right. Just stick with the game plan. That's a pickup of 5 yards. Little on the tackle for St. Louis. McCardell, medium hitch. Not there. Incomplete. We'll go to Kyle Brady, short cross. Incomplete. Now a 4th and 5, so Jacksonville will have to punt. Here's Brian Anger. Will he punt in anger? Punt of 47 yards. Zaire Hakeem makes the fair catch at the 28. Wanted to clear up an error I made on our last game's entry, the game I did yesterday. I said that the best 2 teams in each division make the playoffs in HTFL play. That is not the case. There are 4 conferences, a North and East, a South and West, and they are the combined divisions of the AFC and NFC. I put St. Louis in the East because the Cardinals used to play in the East when they were in St. Louis, and I put Las Vegas in the West. The way it works is this. Let's take the East Division. The Upper East Division winner makes the playoffs. The Lower East Division winner makes the playoffs. Then the next best 2 teams are the wild cards. So when I said that the best 2 teams in each division make the playoffs, that's an error. It's the upper division winner, the lower division winner, and then the next best 2 teams in terms of record. That being said, first and 10, ball 28. And that's a play
Holding
for 6
offense.
yards, so it's going to get called
Number
back.
62, 10-yard penalty.
Timmerman called for holding. That sets up a first and 20. Sonny Randall coming into the game for St. Louis. Ball at the 18. Incomplete. And that was Warner looking for Holt, but Mathis got in the way. Second and 20. Complete the Holt for 8 yards, but it's going to be holding.
Number 69.
Conrad Dobler got called for holding. He's known to do much worse than that sometimes. One of the dirtiest players in the NFL, and he wrote a book about it many years ago. He declined the penalty and set up a third and 12. Because I thought it was the last play was third down. My bad. Third and 12. And, well, it paid off for me. Only a 10-yard gain as Warner threw to Otis Anderson, and Hardy made the tackle. So fortunately, that worked out. 4th and 2 at the 36. We'll set up for the return. And that is Thomas, returning at 9 yards to the Jacksonville 21. We're going to go medium pass. We're going to not give it to Freddie Taylor because I kind of think they're getting used to that. We'll go to McCardell on play action, and that's incomplete. They were looking for McCardell. Fisher was there. Fisher got the turnover for St. Louis that set up their lone score to this point. Now it's 2nd and 10. We'll pitch it right to Freddie Taylor. And he gets no gain, so this St. Louis defense, getting wise to Jacksonville schemes, will go medium fly to Jimmy Smith on 3rd down. That's incomplete. No wind in this game, very calm despite the rainy conditions. Jacksonville will punt. Here's Enger again. That is Hakeem catching it at the 31, returning it 5 yards out to the 36. 5:46 left, opening quarter. It's 3-0 Maroons. 1st and 10. Warner. Incomplete, looking for Anderson. The hero of Super Bowl 25 for Miami. For New York Giants when they beat the Buffalo Bills. Game I was very fortunate to attend. He's out of the University of Miami. Had a good game last week in the losing effort to Washington. 2nd and 10 at the 36. Incomplete. Holt was the intended receiver there. Both teams having trouble moving the ball, except St. Louis, who did put enough of a drive together to get a field goal. 3rd and 10 from the 36. This time it's a catch to Isaac Bruce. Ramsey on the tackle at the 46. 1st and 10, ball at the 46. Warner starting out the game 5 out of 10 for 69 yards. They throw again, and this time it's Jackie Smith with the catch at the 16. Double coverage provided by Jacksonville. Darius brought them down for the Jags. 1st and 10 now at the Jacksonville 30. Otis Anderson, Adequate made the stop, 2-yard gain, ball to 28 now for a 2nd and 8. And that looked like some sort of reverse to Holt. They gave it to Anderson, reverses it to Holt. Henderson said, ain't going very far. And it was a loss of 7 on the play. 3rd and 15 at the 35. This time it's Smith. Jackie Smith making the catch for a 6-yard gain, moving it down to the 29. 46-yard field goal try here for Zerline. And that's no good. So Jacksonville gets the ball back, still only down 3-0. Freddie Taylor, 4 carries, 24 yards on the day so far. We're going to give it to him off tackle right. That's a 2-yard gain. St. Louis was blitzing, but when you run the ball, you can sometimes beat that blitz. We'll go McCardell, medium fly on 2nd down. And that's a catch, 15 yards. Only the 2nd completion today for Brunell. 2 of 7 for 32 yards. We'll take a look at him real quick. He's out of Washington. Really didn't play that effectively against Tampa Bay. 14 for 29, 263. 1st and 10 at the 47 of St. Louis. Back to Taylor, trap right. Try to dominate the inside of the line of scrimmage. And that's going to be the last play of the first quarter. Score is St. Louis 3, Jacksonville nothing. We start the second period. A 2nd and 10 from the 47. We will go to 3 wide receivers and bring Robinson in the game. Allen Robinson, and we're going to go right to him, short out. It's caught.
Encroachment defense. Number 79, 5-yard penalty.
We will accept the penalty and make it 2nd and 5 as opposed to 3rd and 2. And we will go to Brady on the short hitch. And that's good. 10 yards. Wilson on the stop. We'll profile Larry Wilson here. Out of Utah. Played in the late 60s Cardinals teams. It'll now be a 1st and 10 at the 32. We'll go pitch right to Freddie Taylor. Just keep feeding him the ball. That's a nice gain. 15 yards. Worley on the stop at the 17. And there's Roger Worley out of Missouri. Could play cornerback, and he could also kick return. And we will go Jones on a short pass. Incomplete pass. 2nd and 10. Brunel now 3 and 9 for 42 yards. Jacksonville's strength seems to be running the ball. Trapped right. Fred Taylor on 2nd and 10 from the 17, but
False start. Offense. Number 72. 5-yard penalty. Repeat. 2nd down.
back the Jags up 5 as Cersei gets called for a false start. Makes it a 2nd and 15 at the 22. Jimmy Smith on a slant. And it's good for 16 yards and a 1st down. Worley made the tackle. Back to Fred Taylor, trap right. Nothing there. Little blasts him for a 1-yard loss. Time for the Jags to tighten up their line. Fred Taylor off tackle right with double tight end formation, and he picks up 2. That moves it to the 5. We'll go short pass, and we'll go to Jimmy Smith. Not there. Worley got a hand on it, and it's incomplete. Must be some St. Louis fans at the game cheering. Hollis comes in to attempt a field goal. It will be from 22 yards. Couldn't miss this one, right? Nope. That's good. And it's now a 3-3 game. Terry Metcalf back deep for the Cardinals. We were just watching his
Holding.
son
Receiving
Eric
team.
play.
10-yard penalty.
Nice return, but a penalty on Carter. And that moves St. Louis back to their own 25. 1st and 10 from there. No pass. No completion as Warner threw it to Jackie Smith, tipped by Darius. 2nd and 10 at the 25. That's a long game. All the way down to the 11, and that was Edwards for 64 yards on a screen pass. We'll look at him real fast. Mr. Sid Edwards out of Tennessee State, who played on the Cardinal teams of the early 70s, and that's a very nice gain for the Maroons, and flips the field for St. Louis. 1st and 10 at the 11 of Jacksonville. But look at that. Crowd goes wild. Jalen Ramsey intercepts at the 1, brings it out to the 6, and easy come, easy go for St. Louis. Sweep to the left, Fred Taylor. Start from the 6. No
Offsides. Defense. Number 91. 5-yard penalty.
And Little gets called for defensive offsides. That'll make it a 1st and 5 at the 11. Medium pass, play action to McCardle. And it's caught. 11 yards. Brunel has been injured. He will be back. They'll bring in Blake Bortles out of Central Florida to spell him. And he will come into the game for a few plays, it would appear. 1st and 10, ball to 22. We're definitely going to have to run the ball here with Fred Taylor. And that's near a 1st down. It is a 1st down. Walker makes the tackle. And Brunel already back in the game. In fact, we're going to put him to work right away. We'll go to Jimmy Smith on a long pass. Oh, and he gets sacked. Minor did not buy the play fake by Brunel, and it's a loss of 8. 2nd and 18. We'll go to Taylor on a screen. And that's good for 9. They get half that distance back. It's now 3rd and 9. 4 wide. Motion shotgun. We're going to look for Cecil Shorts. Try saying that name 10 times fast. Medium slant. And Shorts has it. 13-yard gain. Wilson on the tackle. We'll go Taylor. Trap right. Try to keep owning that middle of the line of scrimmage. That's 8 yards. Worley on the stop for St. Louis. 12 carries, 68 yards as a team for Jacksonville, a 5.7 average. Taylor has 60 of those yards. And they will go with a stretch play, a little gadget running play. Taylor again. And that's another first, 8-yard gain. We will go McCardle, play action, medium fly. And that's there for 13. Fisher on the stop. Back to Taylor. Pitch to the right. Keep going inside and outside, trying to wear St. Louis down. This time it's a 5-yard pickup. Little on the stop for St. Louis. Leonard Little played on those Rams teams. This combination of St. Louis Cardinals and St. Louis Rams. Now a 2nd and 5 at the 20. This would be another good time for play action. We're going to go to the tight end, Mr. Brady. Instead, it's a dump off. Gain of
Offsetting
9.
penalties. Repeat, 2nd down.
But it's coming back because there were offsetting penalties on the play. So you just replay the down when that happens. And we will go to Taylor on a screen. He's having a very busy day. And that's a touchdown. Fred Taylor with the first touchdown of the day for Jacksonville, and that will put them up 10-3 if this extra point is good, and it is. Hollis puts it through, and we're under 3 minutes left to halftime. Your score 10-3 Jacksonville. We will get going here with the kickoff. Here is Terry Metcalf deep for St. Louis, but it's going to be taken by one of the up men, which was Gilliam, and he returns at 29 yards. A 1st and 10 from the 37. Here's Kurt Warner in for St. Louis. Hero of Super Bowl 34. A screen to Edwards. Good for 10 yards, but short of the first. Will St. Louis get a playoff before the 2-minute warning? Looks likely. And they do. It's another give to Edwards for 4 yards. Nataqua on the stop. Clock continuing to roll. And they're going to get another playoff before the 2-minute warning. And it's another good play for St. Louis. But a fumble. Ramsey forces a fumble on the Jackie Smith catch. Picked up by Darius, and he runs it back 26. Now we're at the 2-minute warning. Your score 10-3. 1:59 left. The 1st and 10 at the 46. Jacksonville with 3 timeouts left. St. Louis with 2. We'll screen it to Fred Taylor. Seven-yard gain, which will keep the clock rolling because we weren't trying to get out of bounds. That was to Fred Taylor. Taylor having a very busy day. 13 carries, 73 yards, 3 catches, 36 yards. We'll keep the ball rolling here. We'll go short out to Jimmy Smith. St. Louis showing a blitz. Incomplete. Now we'll stop it with 1:33 to go. Medium hitch to Jimmy Smith. Incomplete. So now a 4th and 3. Be a 56-yard field goal from here. Jacksonville is going to try to go for it. Medium pass, Robinson. Guess they want to call this play. But a forced fumble, recovered by St. Louis. Maynard on the sack. That's 2 for the day for him, and Brockers comes up with it. So a reversal of fortune there for St. Louis that goes their way. They'll have it at the 47, a 1st and 10. They have 2 timeouts to go. Warner checks it down to Anderson, picks up 9. And St. Louis bangs their first time out of the 2 they had left. They will now have 1 remaining for the remaining minute 13 of this first half. Here's second and 1 from the 44. Another fumble, but Anderson got it back. They threw it to him, fumbled, recovered his fumble. So now it's at the 41. St. Louis calls a timeout. After the confusion of the fumble, they don't have any timeouts left. 1:08 to go. First and 10 from the 41 of Jacksonville. Throw to Isaac Bruce, incomplete. Second and 10 with $1:05 to go. This time it's a first down. No, it's going to be short. They go to Jackie Smith. Doug Marsh is going to come into the game as a second tight end for St. Louis with 56 seconds left to go. I'm sure there will... Actually, in the last play, they got out of bounds. Third and inches at the 31. They used the double tight end formation to flummox Jacksonville and throw the ball. And it was good to Marsh for 11 yards. Ball to 22. First and 10 at the 20. Warner spikes it. Second and 10. 36 seconds to go at the 20. They go sidelines to Anderson. Pickup of 5. St. Louis going to run their kicking team on. Here's a field goal attempt. 32 yards. Zerline, and it's good. There's actually 23 seconds left to go, so Jacksonville could try a desperation play here if they so choose, if they get a nice return. Here's Todman back. It's going to be a touchback. I think the wise thing to do would be to kneel, since they can't stop the clock, and we'll go to halftime. Your score, Jacksonville 10, St. Louis 6. Big Paulie back with you to start the second half of this HTFL game between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the St. Louis Maroons. I nearly called them the Montreal Maroons. Of course, that was a hockey team way back when. Score is 10-6. St. Louis outgaining Jacksonville, 225-195. Kurt Warner has lit it up for the Maroons, 15-24, 224 total yards and an interception, but they haven't done much rushing the ball. 5 carries for a yard as a team. Jacksonville's bread and butter has been the running game, 15 carries, 80 yards. Brunel, another so-so game, 10 out of 19, 131 yards and a touchdown. Terry Metcalf back deep for the Maroons as we get the second half started, taken by an up back, and it's a nice return by Mitchell. 37-yard gain from the 10 to the 47. So that's where Kurt Warner will set up. First and 10.
The previous play is under review. Upon further review, the runner was down by contact.
Warner gave it to Edwards on a trap play, and they picked up 5 yards. There was a fumble. It looked like Jacksonville had it. St. Louis, there was a replay challenge initiated by the booth. As per HTFL rules, they ruled that the runner was down, so it's 2nd and 5. St. Louis will keep possession. Each team has one challenge in HTFL play, but the booth can look at any score and any turnover. 2nd and 5. 2 yards. Nadekwe. I don't know how to say his last name, sorry. 3rd and 3 at the 46. Pitch and catch, and it's a touchdown. Kurt Warner to Isaac Bruce, and Bruce shows off his blazing speed and scores. And that gives St. Louis the lead. Here's the point after. It's good. 13-10 as Zerline puts it through. I think I called him Burline earlier. I was thinking of Steve Burline, maybe. Who was a Notre Dame quarterback who went on and played in the NFL for several teams, and mainly Carolina. Todman back deep for the Jags, and they will down it. That kick went 9 yards deep in the end zone. Still a steady rain at Jacksonville at Everbank Field. Taylor, off tackle right. And that's a nice gain, 20 yards. Hurley makes the tackle for St. Louis. It's now 1st and 10 from the 40. 20-yard gain gives Taylor now 93 yards on the day. We'll go back to him, trap right. That's another nice gain, 5 yards. Hill hurt on the play. The free safety, and he will be replaced by Stovall. We'll take a look at him, Jerry Stovall out of LSU. Played in the Cardinals in the late 60s. Now it's a 2nd and 5, ball at the 45. We'll go play action, medium pass, and we'll look for Jimmy Smith. And it's good, 17 yards. Naoli was injured for Jacksonville, so that makes the offensive line for Jacksonville Boselli, Newari, Linder, Manuai, and Cersei. It's now a 1st and 10 at the 38. We'll go Jones, screen pass. Blitz, which isn't a bad thing. And Jones rumbles and stumbles down to the 11. Gain of 27. Jacksonville will move their tight end over to the left, and they will go to Fred Taylor, trap right, just to confuse everybody. Nothing there. Brady has been hurt now for Jacksonville. Undisclosed injury. And he will stay in the game, though, it appears. And we'll go to Smith, short hitch from the 11. The 2nd down. That's 6 yards. No, that's 5 yards, make that. Roger Worley made his 10th tackle. Still very early in this 3rd quarter. Now a 3rd and 5 from the 6. We'll go to Smith on a slant. Incomplete. So Jacksonville can still tie the game. Here's a 23-yard attempt for Mike Hollis, and it's good. So each team scoring on their first possession of the second half, and we are dead even at 13-13. Hope nobody's triskaidekaphobic. Terry Metcalf back deep for the Cardinals. For the Maroons, I should say. See, I did it. And Metcalf with a nice return, 37 yards. All the way out to his own 49. 1st and 10 from there. Give to Anderson, and that's good for 4. In the Jacksonville territory now at the 47 for a 2nd and 6. 2 yards. Anderson on the stop. Anderson made the play. Henderson on the stop. 3rd and 4. Ball at the 45. Incomplete. Looking for Jackie Smith. Jackie Smith could not hold it. Shades of Super Bowl 13. We've got to let that go. It's one of these days, right? And here is the punting team out. Jacksonville's going to watch for a fake punt. Well, Jones was back in punt formation, and he soft shoes it down to the 5. Nice coffin corner kick. So Jacksonville will start from there. Dive play, Fred Taylor. That's good for 6 yards and puts him over 100 on the day. 104 yards. That's back-to-back 100-yard games for Fred Taylor. How about a jet sweep here to Smith? Oh, got stuffed. Only back to the line. McCardell was hurt on the play. And they will bring Robinson in to spell him in the base formation. But we're going to bring 3 wide receivers in. Put a man in motion. Don't want to go to shotgun here. We'll go medium pass. And we need 4 yards for the first. I think want to go short pass. Hang on a moment. And go for Smith. Not there. Incomplete after all that. So now Jacksonville has to punt on 4th down. Here's Anger. Back deep from the goal line. And that's a nice return for Hakeem of 23 yards to the Jacksonville 40. So a 1st and 10 from there, 7:52 left in the third quarter. They give to Edwards, and that's 3 yards. Smith on the tackle for the Jags. Now you're looking at a 2nd and 7 from the 37, and that's Anderson, but a marker.
Encroachment, defense. Number 90, 5-yard penalty.
5-yard penalty makes it a 2nd and 2 from the 32. To Anderson, not much there. Smith on the tackle. Now it's 3rd and 2 from the 32. An incomplete pass. Warner was looking for Jackie Smith, but he wasn't there. So they'll bring in Zerline, and this will be from almost 50 yards. We'll call it 49. No good. No good. And we remain tied, 13-all, with 6:15 left to play. Here's Fred Taylor off tackle right. Brady has been hurt, and he will come off and won't return. So they will bring Lewis in to play tight end. Mercedes Lewis out of UCLA. Now a 2nd and 8 from the 41. Pitch right, Fred Taylor. Keeping him busy. And no gain that time. He's had the ball already 19 times for 106 yards. Medium hitch to Jimmy Smith in the base formation on 3rd down. Not there. Incomplete. E.J. Jr. was there. So Anger will punt. He has good anger management skills. From the 41, he will punt deep. A little too far out to try a sideline punt. Hakeem caught it at the 9, moved it out to the 13, a return of 4. 13-13 with 5:14 to go in the third quarter, and the ball is at the St. Louis 13 on a 1st and 10. A lot of 13s on the board. This time they go to Jackie Smith, and he catches it, 19 yards. Darius made the tackle for St. Louis. That sets up 1st and 10 at the 32. Marker down before the play.
False start. Offense. Number 81, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 1st down.
And they get Jackie Smith for a false start. See him there. I'm sure they're going to go to Jackie Smith a lot with... see who's guarding him. Darius, and Darius is only a 5 against him, and that will be 1st and 15 at the 27. Caught by Smith again, 17 yards. Kurt Warner having a great day. 18 for 29, 306 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. And we still have 4:19 left in the third quarter. 1st and 10 at the 44. Warner back. Incomplete pass.
Intentional grounding.
And they get him for grounding.
Number 13, 10-yard penalty. Loss of down.
Kurt Warner will plead his case to the officials, but they have already made their ruling. A 2nd and 20 from the 34. And Isaac Bruce with another drop right through his hands. Now 3rd and 20. Long pass, caught. No, it was dropped by Bruce again. Back-to-back drops. 3 drops on the day for him. So Warner now 18 out of 32. Jacksonville will try to return a punt. And they get 11 yards on the Jones punt of 52. So a 41-yard net. 3:21 left third quarter. It's 13-all. Taylor outside run. Just a random outside run. And he gets 10 yards. Jones was hurt. Fred Taylor at 116 on the day. That's his season high. So they will go to Maurice Jones-Drew to replace him. And I think they want to go to a split formation. Split backs. We'll go Jones-Drew, trap right. Not much there, if anything. Walker made the stop for the Maroons. 3:01 to go, third quarter. Trap right, Fred Taylor. And that's 4 more to get him to 120 on the day. With 3 wide. Robinson, medium hitch. 14 yards, first down. Medium button hook. Light made the stop for St. Louis out of Notre Dame. He's the fifth defensive back in the Maroons scheme of things. Now the ball's at the 47 of St. Louis. First and 10. Jones back in, so they go back to the I. Trap right. Fred Taylor, and it's good for 12. He will come out of the game, and Maurice Jones-Drew will come in at tailback. 48 seconds left. We'll go right to him. Trap right, put him to use. And that is good for 6 yards. Worley made another tackle. Taylor goes back in. A 2nd and 4. 6 yards. Into the third quarter. It's 13-13. We'll go Lewis. We'll go medium slant. Brunel forced out of the pocket. He throws to McCardell, who catches it, and he's downed at the 1. Fisher made the stop. So the Jags now with a good chance to take the lead. Here's Brunel, quarterback sneak. Good, touchdown. Brunel calls his own number. And it's about to be 20-13 with the extra point, and it's good. So it's Jacksonville 20, St. Louis 13, 14:08 left in regulation time. Here's the kickoff to Terry Metcalf, perhaps. Again, taken by a nutback. And St. Louis has been getting good returns all game. And this was Mitchell for 33 yards from the 13 to the 46. St. Louis will start from there, 1st and 10. They give to Anderson, just back to the line. No, he lost 2 yards. Hardy on the tackle. Now a 2nd and 12 from the 44. Incomplete. And a bad pass, according to the computer that Kurt Warner has thrown. But he's had a good game, 18-33, 306. Now 3rd and 12. Needs to get something going here, and he does. 14 yards to Isaac Bruce, which moves them into Jacksonville territory. They're down a touchdown with 12:56 to go in regulation. 1st and 10 at the 42. A screen to Edwards, and that's good for 5. Belowsny makes the stop. 2nd and 5 at the 37. Give to Anderson. He's got a first down, 7 yards. Mathis on the tackle for Jacksonville. Edwards has had a good day out of the backfield. 4 catches, 98 yards to go of his 4 carries for 14. St. Louis has been pretty much stopped cold as a team running the ball. 13 carries, 22 yards, a 1.7 average at the moment. 1st and 10 at the 30. Another screen to Edwards.
Unnecessary roughness. Defense. Number 51, 10-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
And add 10 more yards, half the distance to the goal line. Sid Edwards with 109 yards catching today after that gain of 11. Now a 1st and goal at the 9. They give it to Anderson, and Anderson will score. Touchdown. Otis Anderson gets the Maroons a point away from tying this game. Here is that point in question, the extra point by Zerline, and it's good. And we are dead even again at 20-20 with 10 minutes, 12 seconds left to go. It's been a very good game so far. Todman back deep for the Jags. And it's another good kickoff for St. Louis. So kicking the ball and returning the ball on kickoffs has kept St. Louis in this game. 1st and 10 from the 20. And we will go off tackle right, Fred Taylor. Who's had a good game so far, but a marker. Hold on.
Offsides. Defense. Number 22, 5-yard penalty.
We'll take the penalty yards. A 1st and 5 would be better than a 2nd and 2. Screen pass to Jones on 1st and 5. Incomplete. Brockers got a rush in on Brunell. And we'll go to Smith, short hitch. And I don't think they threw it to him. They threw it underneath to Lewis. Little was hurt for St. Louis. Quinn, I believe, has come in for the Maroons out of North Carolina. Now a 1st and 10 for the Jags. A 20-20 game. Trap right, Fred Taylor. And that's another nice gain for him, 6 yards. A 2nd and 4. Mercedes Lewis, short cross. You go to Smith. You call an audible and go to Smith. Changed receivers. Worley made his 15th tackle of the day, by the way. 13-yard gain for Smith. Brunell now 17 out of 30, 237 yards and a touchdown. We'll go long pass, play action to McCardell. Try to get a score right here. The 48.
False start. Offense. Number 87. 5-yard penalty. Repeat. First down.
McCardell's a little too eager. I guess he knew he was getting the ball. Why wouldn't he? 1st and 15. Ball now to Jacksonville 47 with 8:10 left. And that's 5 yards, so Taylor gets those penalty yards back. Now going to be a 2nd and 10. 3 wide receivers will come into the game. They'll go in motion, go into a shotgun, and they will go to Smith. Medium hitch. Brunell scrambles and picks up 2. A 3rd and 8 from the 46 now. They'll go to 4 wide. Bring in Cecil Shorts. Made a 1st down earlier in this game. So we're going to go back to him on a medium slant. St. Louis showing zone. Couldn't hang on. Shorts could not hang on. And with 6:37 left in the ball to St. Louis 46. Sideline punt here by Anger. Marker down. But must have been picked up because it wasn't called. Ball to 16, a 1st and 10, 6:31 remaining. See what Kurt Werner can do. They go to Anderson, and he picks up 3. Hardy makes the tackle. 20-20. If we are tied, we will play in overtime, and it's the old school overtime format. First team to score wins. None of this, if one team kicks a field goal, the other team gets the ball and tries business. 2nd and 7 at the 19. Another give to Anderson, and that's 4 more yards. Anderson's carried the ball 11 times for 31 yards, 4 catches for 27. 3rd and 3 at the 23. Warner underneath to Anderson, 8 yards and a 1st down. 5:02 left to go. 1st and 10 at the 31. And that's caught by Torrey Holt. Mathis on the tackle for Jacksonville. Gain of 7. 2nd and 3 at the 38. Maroons appear to have something going, but a fumble. Dan Deerdorf jumped on it. Who would go on and become a color commentator for CBS and ABC. Also did a little boxing in the 90s. A 3rd and 4 at the 37 now, after that loss of 1 on that last play. 3:42 left. They go to Anderson again, gain of 6 in the 1st down. Natakwe injured, but he will stay in. A 1st and 10 at the 43. Edwards picks up 2 yards on the ground. That gives him 2 more yards, because I didn't catch his stats. 2nd and 8 now at the 45. Shotgun formation and a catch by Sonny Randall for 13 yards. 2-minute warning, but St. Louis looking like they got something going here. $1:52 on the clock. Your score dead even at 20-20. Kurt Warner, 370 yards on the day, 40 attempts, 25 completions. 1 touchdown, 1 pick. 1st and 10 at the 42. And that's a big play, 28 yards. Torrey Holt catches it inside the 15 to the 14 of Jacksonville. St. Louis calls timeout. They have 2 left, which will give Jacksonville time. Should there be a score here, a 1st and 10 at the 14. That's incomplete. He was looking for Edwards, Sid Edwards. Now a 2nd and 10 from the 14. Incomplete. Jacksonville's got to be thinking they're going to go for a pass here. 3rd and 10 at the 14. Incomplete pass. Looking for Bruce, so they will hold him to 3. Here's the field goal try for Zerline, and it's good. 31 yards, and it's 23-20 Maroons. They look for their first win of this HTFL season. Todman back deep for the Jags. They will try to scramble for a score. That'll go all the way out of the end zone. Another good kickoff for the Maroons. And it's a 1st and 10 from the 20. And Jacksonville will throw caution to the wind and just go into passing formations. They will go medium fly to Jimmy Smith. They have 3 timeouts. Incomplete pass. Looking for Smith. Tipped by Worley. We'll go Cardell. Medium out on 2nd and 10. Incomplete, but a marker.
Offense. Number 65, 10-yard penalty.
And not a good marker. Naoli gets called for holding. It's now 2nd and 20 from the 10. Medium fly to McCardell. Good coverage by St. Louis. They only get 3 yards. And Jacksonville will call a timeout. That leaves them with 2 and a minute 11 on the clock. Medium pass plus route to Smith. And that's another underneath pass to Jones-Drew for 4 yards. Jacksonville calls another timeout. This could be the game for them. 1:05 to go. Shotgun, man in motion. Quarterback must pass plus route. Jimmy Smith to stay alive in the game. Not there, incomplete, and St. Louis is going to take over with 1 minute to go. Now, Jacksonville only has 1 timeout left, so hypothetically, St. Louis can run the clock out. See what happens. They give to Edwards. Edwards is going to score. Sid Edwards makes it 29, about to be 30-20 with that extra point. And I don't think Jacksonville was laying down there because that wouldn't help them any. Another deep kickoff for St. Louis. And with 47 seconds left, Jacksonville gets the ball back, but they're going to have to do some boogieing. Long out play to Jimmy Smith. Intercepted by Stovall, and that should do it. Jerry Stovall should just put this one in the book for St. Louis to win their first game. Jacksonville could call timeout, but it's academic at this point. They'll just let the clock run, and that'll be it. Your final, St. Louis 30, Jacksonville 20. Both teams go to 1-1 in the HTFL season. As you can see there, Jacksonville had the lead most of the way. St. Louis led in the first quarter and then led again in early in the third, 13-10. Then Jacksonville took the lead back. St. Louis got 17 unanswered to finish the game with a 30-20 win. That moves St. Louis, as I was saying, to 1-1 in the lower East Division. They will be they'll be a game behind Washington and Miami. Dallas is yet to play, but the best they could do is go to 1-1. They'll be playing Buffalo later. Jacksonville will move to 1-1. They're a half game behind New Orleans, so New Orleans could still lose. Houston could still win. Tampa Bay at 0-2. Our next game, in fact, is Buffalo traveling to Dallas. It'll be O.J. Simpson against the doomsday defense of the Dallas Cowboys. Then we take a day off. If you're watching this on not July, but June 5th, Buffalo Dallas will be on Saturday. I always take Sundays off. And then I come back on Monday. Green Bay Houston will be an unplugged game where I do minimal commentary. And then on Tuesday, we'll do Cincinnati traveling to Lucas Oil Stadium to take on the Indianapolis Colts. So I hope you enjoyed today's broadcast. The final score was the St. Louis Maroons getting their first win, 30-20 over Jacksonville. This has been Big Paulie coming to you. We'll catch you all again real soon. Bye bye for now, everybody.